Sadguru Name, Jugadguru Name, Satguru Name, Sri Guru Deva Name, Adguru Name, Jugadguru Name, Satguru Name, Sri Guru Deva Name. Guru Pyaro Ji Satsangat, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Well, it's such a great honor and a great privilege in the presence of our Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj to have this opportunity to understand together the most beautiful gift that we have to come to the feet of our Guru. I had to learn in my way, and many years ago when I came and experienced Sangat and experienced our Guru, to understand that there's a teaching that existed in this world that no other teaching brings. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Sache Patshaah brought to this world at the time of this Kali Yuga, this darker age, was brought to this world, onto this planet, to spread a teaching of universal truth. Universal means for everyone, that everyone could be part of this teaching. That the teaching of Sikhi is not just limited to only those who call themselves Sikh, but that the teachings of our Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj are teachings for the entire world to learn the power of Gurbani, the power of the devotion, and to understand what is the Sikh faith that we live. The world is yet to know truly how beautiful the teachings that we have, how beautiful the history, the life of our Gurus, the sacrifice of our Gurus, who sacrificed it not just for other Sikh people, but sacrificed for the world, to show the world that we have to stand for the human rights of all people. And it's no different today, is it not the same? At that time, wasn't our Gurus facing persecution? They were facing being killed, being tortured, being driven away and driven out, arrested for no reasons. But it's the same that we're seeing going on to this very day, at this very moment. Same is going on. We see what is happening now in the Punjab. We see it's not different. We know what happened in 1984. We know what has happened in the history. But it's a time that we understand that as a Sangha, together we have to learn to take action and to express and to show the world that we are truly a people of peace. You know, Satsangaji, I was in Canada for a long time, and for close to 20 years, we had a TV program, Insight into Sikhism. Every week I was on television in Canada for close to 20 years, teaching in English Sikhi. And this was the first program in the world, long before much internet and everything is happening now, that was teaching about Sikhism to English people, and of course to our Sangat as well. But before when we were teaching, we'd get many calls from English people who would say to us, we never knew that this faith was so beautiful and so rich. Before that time, what did they think a Sikh was? All they could see on the media, on the television, was that we fought each other with kirpans and fighting in the gurdwaras. That's how we were portrayed by media. Not by peace-loving people who have a deep devotion and love in their heart. And you taught me that. I came to the feet of the Guru. I was a very young man. I was 24 years old. a very young person. Today I'm 70 years old. It's a long time, long time to be with Sangha, a long time to learn and to understand and to be devoted. But what kept me at the feet of the Guru, even through tough time, was not always easy time. But that day I came, I had to take at the feet of the Guru. I was a very young person. And as soon as my forehead touched the floor, as soon as the Mattatega, as soon as that happened, something happened in my mind that said, there's some teaching I want to understand and learn. And I studied and I wanted to know who was Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Because in my life, I wasn't looking to change a religion. I just said, let's go change a religion. I don't like my one, I'm going to find a new one today. I could have picked the Buddha, any religion, if I wanted, but I wasn't looking to change religion. Culture is culture. I was looking for a way of life and a teaching that would teach the equality for all people. Guru Nanak Dev Ji taught that everyone was created equal. He said there's one God, we know this, I'm not telling you, he knows Ek Onkar, there's one God. And that one God was the same God for everyone. And that was what I believed in my heart, same. And when I found a teaching that taught the equality, and then I learned and read about our gurus and the fights of our gurus and how they stood for the human rights of all people, gave their lives, Guru Arjan Dev Ji, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, how they gave their lives so that we could live today, not just that in India you could live, not just that a Sikh could live, but that humanity, all people would learn to understand what is the power of that sacrifice. And that inspired me. That raised me. Hanji, it raised me. And I said, if those can give that amount of sacrifice, of devotion, of love, to stand for the rights of all people, of women, of men, of children, of all people, then that's what I want to be part of. That's what I want to learn. That's where I wanted to grow. And then I understood and started to study Gurbani. And as I was studying Gurbani and learning and trying to understand what is the meaning of Gurbani, and what is Gurbani itself, what is the power, the strength of that Gurbani. The first time I heard from reading from Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, I was there in the Gurdwara for the first time. And I met some Singhs and they said, we have this Gurdwara. I said, well, what do you do there? They said, well, we pray, we do some Simran, chanting. I said, well, that's good, I like to do that, I can come. I said, when should I come? They said, well, we start 4 a.m. I said, 4 a.m.? They said, Amrit Vela, we call that. I said, I didn't know what Amrit Vela was. But I said, okay, I'll come. I'll see, I'll try. And that day I went that morning in Amrit Vela. They did some exercising, they did some Simran, and then they did Path. I didn't know what that was. I sat, I listened, Japji Sahib. And they did the Prakash of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Never in my life did I see that before. But I saw Sangat was coming and Mattatega. I said, that's okay, I can do that, that's okay. And as soon as I Mattatega, as soon as I put my head, it changed my life. And then I sat with Sangat, and the Jetta was there doing Kirtan, doing Shabad. And I just closed my eyes and I listened to the sound. Just sat very quietly and watched what happened in my mind. And something changed inside of me. I said, my God, there's something very unique. What is this sound? I didn't know at that time what is the meaning Shabad Guru. I didn't understand what was Gurumukhi. All I heard was a sound. And when they took the Hukamnama, and read from Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, I just listened again, not understanding one word, but listening to the sound, the vibration within myself. And I felt something very different that my life I had never felt before. And I wanted to understand, what is this? Remember, my mind wasn't, oh, I just want to join a religion. I didn't come to join religions. I came to have an experience of life. So even to this day, some will come to ask me, they say, oh, are you a Sikh? I said, why? They said, do you practice that Sikh religion? I said, nay. No, you look like you're Sikh religion. I said, nay. They say, what are you? I said, I practice Sikh way of life. They said, what is that way of life? They want to know. They asked me, what is the way of life that you practice? And I said that I was taught that I should rise in the morning Amrit Vele, that I should prepare myself in the morning Ishnan, I should come to the feet of my Guru, I should sit in the stillness, I should vibrate Vaheguru, 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 so that my mind is set, and then read the Panchbani, read the Bani so that my day is set for my day. That's the way of life. They said, why? What's the reason? I said, because if we give, I said, how many hours, I asked one time, I said, how many hours in one day? And they said to me, 24 hours. I said, well, we give 10% of our day, 2.4 hours every morning, 10% of that day. I said, that's a pretty good deal, 10%. For what reason? So the other 90% of my day, Guruji takes care of for me. I don't have to worry about it. So Satsangiji, I'm just sharing a little bit how I see it. Maybe Mafkani ji, if I'm making something mistake wrong, but that's how I see that experience. I'm just sharing today a little bit about my personal experience today. Because then I know if I don't wake up in that morning, if I don't do my part, if I don't prepare myself, then I don't want to come out my day. I should just stay in bed all day. I'm not going to take that risk. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj gave us a technology, a science of living, to uplift a human being from just being human to an elevated soul, an elevated Atma, a super being, you can say, in many ways. Because the vibration of the Gurbani itself, that sound, that Shabad Guru, that technology of sound that vibrates within us, opens the channels of this brain of ours to give us a super intelligence. Not a weakened mind, but a super intelligence. Intuition, we say in English. A knowingness, and this is what I want our young people, our young adults here, to understand. That what is so important for them is to make a connection at the feet of the Guru Granth Sahib. You know what means connection? Do you understand? If you're at home, do you like Wi-Fi, internet? Hanji? Yes? Don't you have to make a connection? If that internet is here and your computer is here, you have to make a connection to get that internet. But you have to make also connection with Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji and feel what is that energy, that sense of that. That's what I felt. Today, no different. That first day I came at the feet of the Guru, tears came from my eyes. I didn't know why those tears came from my eyes. I'm a simple person, Canadian-born, white person, Gora, I don't know. But that day, tears came. And even today, same when I come to the feet of the Guru, my eyes begin to get tear. Because I say in my mind, Guruji, that if you can bring this kid from downtown Toronto, this Gora guy, this kid, this little guy, and bring him here to the feet of the Guru, then how do you even say what blessing, what darshan that is in one's life? And you who are born to it are not just born from the culture of that, my belief personal. There's a destiny, there's a reason that you've been born, that God has birthed you to be at the feet of the Guru, to be born at the feet of the Guru, to be named at the feet of the Guru, to come to the feet of the Guru. You've been born to that. Not just, I was culturally born Sikh family. Some of the kids say, well, I was just born from Sikh family. My belief is that you were born to be at the feet of the Guru and to serve at the feet of the Guru. We had to come to it. I had to come to understand it. Guruji took 24 years before I was good enough to come. I had to struggle and fight. But somehow Guruji brought me. I didn't bring myself. Somehow Guruji brought. And if Guruji can bring somebody like me, what is your problem? What is the issue that any of you have to not understand the strength? I'm saying this today, Ji, because now we know we're in this Kali Yuga, we're in this darker time of life, we're in this darker age of living. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Satyapatisha came in the Kali Yuga, came at this time, and brought that message to the world that had never been said before. Before Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they said God lives outside. Somebody has to take you to that God. Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, nay. He said, that's not true. He said, God lives in each of us. And that everyone can experience God. Everyone can have that experience. And this is what our Guru gives to us. Is that experience of that we call that God. Gives each of us the experience of what that God is to us. That's the devotion that we have at the feet of the Guru. To experience what is that God that lives within us. Ospatisha taught that everything was part of that. That we're part of the entire universe, that a human being is not separated. Oh, here's a human, this is the stars, this is planets, this is world, this is universe, this is cosmos, this is... Guruji said that we're all connected to everything. That we as a human being is not true. We have Panch Tattva, each of us, 5 elements. Panch Tattva exists within each of us. Is not that not true? We say English, air, earth, water, fire, ether, Panch Tattva, 5 element. But the universe has that, Panch Tattva. The universe has the 5 elements. Our connection is when we, as a human being, in this form called human, this life given to us, as Guruji says, this life form is given to us as a gift, is a shell. This body form that we live in, how many years we come, how many years we're destined to be here in this body form, has in it an element. Those elements, we have senses, we hear things, we see things, we taste things, we smell. We have those elements, we have those senses. In Gurbani, Guru Ramdas Ji tells us how those senses, those elements, are part of the elements and the senses of the entire universe. So there's no separation between us. And this is what Guru Nanak taught. He said, there's no separation between you as a human being and this universe that exists, that we look up in that sky. We see the sun, the moon, the stars, everything that we see, the planets, that we're part of that. And the experience of that, to experience that God, is to not limit ourselves. But then Guruji gives us the technology and the science to achieve it. Between a human and that which exists in the whole realm of the universe is what we call Guru. You know, they have those pipelines that takes oil from one thing and takes it, right? It's a pipeline we call in English. Guru is that pipeline, is that conduit, is that river that flows us in from the individual understanding to the universal, to the vast, broad understanding. So Guruji taught it in 3 steps. He said, number one is the individual. Number one is you. Number one is the individual. There's individual in Sangha today. There's 60, 70 individual. And as we sit in the presence of our Guru, that individual, each of us, become the Sangat. What is the Sangat? Is Sangat just congregation? Oh, we're just coming Sangat? No, if we read in Gurbani, Guruji explains to us what is Sangat. Sangat is that which together combines each of us as we sit in the presence of the Guru, in Guru's energy, in Guru's auric field, we can call it Guru's energy, that we come together, that we join together. And as we together, Vaheguru, 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 as we listen to the Bani, as we listen to Kirtan, as Guru's energy is moving through each of us, we together join together. So we start from individual, but we go to group. We go together as Sangat. And we merge, we can say merging all the energy of each of us together to have what? In the presence of our Guru, to raise us, to give us the experience, Sirjanahar, to experience Paramatma. Each of us have an Atma. Atma is that soul. We each have a soul, Atma. And as that soul grows through our experience, through our devotion at the feet of the Guru, that soul within us, that Atma, becomes Maha-Atma. Mahatma means great soul. It expands within us, becomes great. Atma, Mahatma. Third stage is Paramatma. Hanji? Paramatma, and it gives us the experience beyond self. Sangat is the same, from individual to Sangat to Paramatma, from soul to Mahatma to Paramatma. The highest growth, evolution of a human being is given to us through Gurbani, through our devotion, at the feet of the Guru. I had to understand that in English, because Dori Punjabi is not so good. To understand it, to relate to it. And it changed my life and brought me to you. I've been with our Sangats now, it's coming almost close to 50 years. Long time. That's a long time. 2/3 of my life, I was 24 when I came, is almost 2/3. And I've never left the Guru. And first 20 years of my life, I didn't want one person should know my name. I served in the Gurdwara. Whatever was asked, seva, any seva, for 20 years. Can you imagine a white person, 20 years in Canada? That was my first 20 years. And I said, I don't want one person should even know my name. I didn't come that somebody should know my name. But we learned and studied and learned Kirtan and Tabla, everything. Helped in the Gurdwara, taught with children. And after that next 20 years, that's when we went. They asked me if I would come on that television program. I said, okay. And I knew right at that time, I said, Guruji, if I do this, I know my life will never be the same. And that I would never have a private life anymore, that my life was to be public. And from that first 20 years to these next 20 plus years, I heard that voice from Guruji who said, go and spread these teachings to the world. As best I can. I'm not saying I'm anybody to do. I said, okay, as best I can. Because I wanted everyone to know that we have such a beautiful teaching that can help to bring peace to this world. There was an Englishman, very well-known Englishman, and he said that the teachings of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj could bring peace to this world. I heard this many years ago. He said that the teachings can bring peace to this world. He said, but there was one problem. He said, the Sikhs are not spreading it to the world. And that was very true. Because we're not going to convert somebody. We don't want to make 1 million, 10 million Sikh. We're not converting. We want to uplift humanity, raise humanity, lift humanity. Share a teaching, but we have to live it. If we don't live it, if we don't practice it. We had a question and answer the other day in one of the Gurdwaras, and one of the mothers said to us, she said, well, how do I get my children involved to read Gurbani, to do Simran? My answer was simple. If you don't do it, they're not going to do it. If we don't bring them to that, they're not going to come to that. If we don't spend time with our young people, if we as elders don't spend that time with our young people and show them and help them and every day wake up with them and teach them and give them the strength of understanding of that, then how do we expect they're going to do it? Because these children are very, very smart kids. They have everything. They know everything. They see it on the internet. They have everything at their fingertip. We didn't have that. These children are very, 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 very smart, very much aware. But if we don't give them the guidance and we don't help them to make the connection at the feet of the Guru, then we lose our young people. It's okay, I'm Sikh, it's my culture, it's the way I live, okay. But they lose what is that really deep experience that they can have that can help their lives. Sikhi changed my life. I became Khalsa, Amrit Chak. It changed my life. That day when I Amrit Chak, I said, okay, Guruji, then you have everything. I have nothing. And that I give my life to you. And however you want, if you want to take my head is yours. If you want to take my arms are yours. I am yours. If I die at your feet, saving somebody, doing seva, serving, helping another person, then that's what I'll give. And wherever you guide me and take me, that's where I'll go. And that was that commitment at that time. Doesn't mean that life has its ups and downs, its rocky road, its pluses, minus. Yes, I've faced much. I faced very much. Even in our Sangat, I faced a lot to be trusted. That I was true and honest. But I never stopped. Never left the feet of my Guru. Because I read in Gurbani that day, and translated to English, said that if somebody wants to praise me and say, oh, you're this and that, and give me all that praise, still that praise belongs to the Guru. And if somebody wants to slander me, say this and that, then I shall still never leave the feet of my Guru. And so Sangatji, we're in a time now we're being tested as Sangat. We are being tested. And the history of Sikhi has been to be tested, always to be tested. You know, if we look at world religions, Christianity, 2,000 year, Judaism, 5, 6, 10,000 years, Muslimism, 2,000 years, 3,000 some odd years, Buddhism, who knows, 5, 10,000 years. But Sikhi is just 500 and some odd years. And yet Guru Nanak Dev Ji came and made such an impact that what he brought to this world and the life of our Gurus have become a major force in the world. In just over 500 years, and to become a major faith. Other major faith is 4,000, 2,000 years, 10,000 years. Why did Guru Nanak Dev's teachings take such a root in this world? And it was predicted that someone would come to this planet who would share a message of peace, a message of the oneness of all humanity, would come to this planet. It was predicted in many teachings. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji's message has been spread to the world, will continue to be spread to the world. And the teachings of our Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj will continue to be spread all over the world. Somebody asked me one day in Canada, they said, oh, we're so lucky that Canada gave us immigration. Right? They said, oh, we're so lucky Canada gave us this immigration. I looked at it differently. I said, no, I don't believe. I think we're so lucky that you brought Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji to Canada so that we could have that experience. Because if you didn't come, or if you didn't come to England, would Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji be in England today? Or any country in this world, if you didn't come? So I kind of, my mind sees a little different side of things sometimes. And that's how I learned and how I believe and what gives me the strength every day. But we have to find that strength as Sangha today, what's going on even right now in the Punjab, where people are being arrested, taken away, things are banned, arrested for no reason. We see what is happening, and the world sits still. You can't see any reporting in any media, mainstream, of the tragedy and the assault against the human rights that's happening. If it was an English country, it would be different. It would be over every page, everywhere. So we have to spread the message. We have to let everyone know. We have to be examples of that. What's happening in the world today with Ukraine, other places like that, it's a tragedy, but this we know, and Guru says that at this time of this Kali Yuga, when this change is happening, because change has to happen. Even there's those who want to hold back change, who want to take away our rights, especially rights of women to make their choices. That's pulling it back to 100 years, 200 years back, who want to maintain their power and their control, will come to an end. Guruji says will come to an end. But right at this point of that Kali Yuga, it's a test of all humanity to survive it. And we have to rise. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj gave us the Raj, gave us that kingship, gave us that capacity to learn, to grow, to become strong, to be known in the world, to fight against that, just as our gurus have given their lives and the martyrs have given their lives, Baba Deep and others have given their lives, so that we could live freely today and be here at the feet of our Guru without fear. But Sangat has a question, can we face that? Can we take that on, or do we want to just hide? Nobody should see us. I won't say anything. We can't. Those who call themselves Khalsa, who are Amritchak, take that responsibility especially to fight against that, to be a voice against that. If one person can hear your voice and that voice changes them, that's your save. It doesn't matter, 1,000 people, 100 people, 10 people, 2 people, 1 person, 10 million people. If one hears your voice and that changes, makes some kind of inspiration. That's all it takes. What do they say? You have one candle, but it takes another candle to light that candle, that lights another candle till all those candles, the light is there. That's the joke. And what's the power of that? But we're afraid. Guru Arjan Dev Ji in Sukhmani Sahib Path tells us everything we need is at our feet. Everything we need. Everything. Every gem, jewel, ruby, everything is at our feet. But we only see the small pebble of sand. Isn't that what Guru Arjan Dev Ji says to us? Prabh ke simran rid sid no nid, Prabh ke simran gyan dhyan tatabud. That everything comes through that devotion, Prabh ke Simran, everything through that vibration comes everything that we need. There's nothing that is lacking to us to have. But this mind of ours overthinks. The biggest problem is we think too much. Too much thinking. So what is the power of Gurbani then? Power of Gurbani is to still the mind. If we don't still this mind, calm this mind, to come to that sense, the hedge, that calmness within ourselves, to sit in that stillness, Vaheguru, 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 just to sit in that stillness. Feel that stillness within ourselves. To find that shanti, to find that peace within ourselves. If we don't find every day that peace within ourselves, then the mind just takes over, and then the mind goes this way, that way, this happened, that we start worrying, everything happens, we start fearing, and then we don't trust in Guru's Hukamnama. We don't trust in Guru's word. We don't sincerely bring ourselves and trust that Guruji shall carry me even when I can't carry myself. And this is what our Guru teaches to us. That when I can't do it personally, and I'm having trouble with something, and something is deeply bothering inside me something, I have a choice to make. I can become worried, become fear, doubt, depression, worry so much. Or I can say, Guruji, guide me. Guruji, today give me the guidance. What is a Hukamnama? Hukamnama is that order. Hukamnama gives us the guidance, the order of the day, to help us. Sometimes some of you will come to me and say, well, that's nice, Bhai Sahib, that's very nice, but you don't know how much problem I have. Right? I hear the stories. No, Ji, but I know that the Guruji says good, but you don't know. My problem is so big problem. I don't, you don't understand. I said, Guruji understands? No, I can't find my way. And the mind starts going like that. But sometime we come to that point where we have to sit in the presence of our Guru, trust Guru's words, that Guru shall carry us. Because God lives in each of our hearts. I went to Darbar Sahib first time I was 29 years old. 29, young person. It was a different then than it is today. That was 40 some odd years back. Had never been before. So I was standing on the Pakarma and I looked up. I said, God, you can take me. I said, God, take me. God said, why? And I said, because if you can bring this kid from Toronto, the son of a baker, my family had a bakery, and you can bring this kid from downtown Toronto, son of a baker, and bring him here to Darbar Sahib, most beautiful vibration on planet Earth. I said, take me now. Just let me go. And God said, why? I said, because if you could bring this kid to here, what is left in life to experience? What is left to do? Take me. What they say in Star Trek, beam me up, right? I said, beam me up, take me. What am I going to do next? So I heard those words that day. God said, no, you have to go back. And I said, go back, what should I do? God said, you have to go back and teach. And I said, teach what? I didn't get an answer, but I went back. Because I trusted that Guruji was guiding me, had brought me to Darbar Sahib at that time in 83, just before 1984, where I met with everyone, met everybody, sat with everyone. At the exact time of that history, I knew that Guruji was giving me some darshan, something that someday I would be able to truly serve and be with Sangat and share Guru's teachings I didn't know that I would sit here today. And I didn't ask that I should sit here today. Because I'm a very simple person and I can only share from my heart, my experience, so that we can be inspired to understand that what we have is such a beautiful gift, and not to turn our back on it and not to turn our children back to it. One day I was teaching some students at university, and we were talking about pot and what is the power of doing pot. And one young woman, university student, she stood up and she said, "Bhai Sabji, I don't have time to do pot." She said, "I don't have time to do pot." That's okay. I don't push anybody. But I looked at her and I said, "Do you have time to go to Starbucks and buy coffee?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "You have time to talk on the phone, blah, 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 yak, 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 blah, blah, to your friend?" She says, "Yeah." I said, "You have time to go to that shop and buy those cloths there you want to buy?" She says, "Yeah." "You have time to sit at home on your computer and this and that and Facebook, whatever you do?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "But you don't have time to read pot?" She said, "Naji, I have no time." Well, she had time for everything else to do, but she didn't make it part of her life to do pot. To spend 1 hour, 2 hours, even shorter time, just to sit in the stillness of Guru for guidance. So Satsangaji, in this age of this Kali Yuga, in this darker age that we're facing, Guru has a tool for us. Some of you sitting here may be carpenter, maybe plumber, maybe working somewhere doing. Don't you need a tool? If I'm a carpenter and I want to build a house, do I not need a hammer and I need a saw and I need a ladder, I need something? We call that a tool. But Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj is the tools that we have. Gurbani is that screwdriver, that hammer that we use. Shabad is the technology that cuts through us. What is the Shabad? Shabad is that which cuts through the mind to bring a clarity, to bring a clearness of the mind of thought, because today we have to have a crystal clear, we have to have a clear mind to make a clear decision of life and our future and the future of our family. That decision-making has to be very clear. If mind is crowded, too many thoughts, too much doubt, too much fear, then our decisions that we make for our family and our future will not be a strong future, a strong way. And our young people have to have that strength of mind and that courage of mind. And Guruji gives us that strength of mind. That strength of that spirit. The understanding and the knowledge of life. How to live in this life. Because Guruji really gives that power of a person. We say we want to be powerful people, let us be powerful people. But Guruji gives us that strength of power, but gives us that calmness, that understanding. Guru Hargobind Ji gave us that midi pity. Hanji, midi and pity. What is midi pity? Midi pity is that soldier, that warrior, and that sant. That we live on both those edges. We live as that soldier. We live as that warrior. But we also live as that sant, as that saint. So we would say, how would we define a warrior, a soldier? Would we not say that a soldier is someone who fears nobody? Is that not true? A soldier fears no one. Would we say that? A soldier fears nobody. Then what's a sant? A sant is somebody that no one fears. You understand? That is the midi pity that we live, that we're so strong, we don't fear anything, but we're so sant, we have such seva, that people will come to us wanting to just be near us, because they will see that we have the strength and the courage to stand, but we have that compassion, Guru, we have kindness, Guru, we have givingness Guru, we've got forgiveness Guru, we've got everything that we can have in us as well as that strength of that spirit. But what gives that mind that spirit? What gives the body the strength? We have to be fit physical. If we're not physical strong, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj had his soldiers run with the horses to give them strength. He knew if their physical body was weak, they wouldn't take the pressure. They wouldn't. And look at the sacrifices. Sadhzadas, look at what they give the young, your age kids, who had no fear to give their life so that not just their guru could live, but that humanity could live on. They sacrificed themselves and had that courage and that strength of mind that they could not be defeated, put brick by brick, kill on battlefield. They could not be defeated. You could not take their spirit. You could take their life, but you would never take their spirit.
Bole so nihal.
Sat Sri Akal. But what is the difference today? Do we say, oh, that's just a story? That's just a story. And then that's a story. And we write it off without seeing that it's an example of how to live life today. They gave us the courage and the example. I read the stories of all those who gave the martyrs. Baba Deep Singh, who gave his head and held his head and still fought. Is that not written in history as true? Is not some story, somebody made a story? Nay, it's true. It was seen by the eyes of others. It was a written truth. Guru Arjan Dev Ji sat on that hot plate 5 days, 5 nights. Can you imagine even 1 second putting your hand on a burning plate without running away? And then had the hot oil. Did he fall apart? Did he give up? Nay. He sat reciting the Japji Sahib, telling people, no, you live for, I'm living for you. Many said to him, no, Guruji, let me go, let me go. He said, nay, I have to go. Many would have stood in his place. Many would have given that sacrifice so he could live. He said, nay. He said, no. I have to be the one who gives the example of fearlessness, and that we won't stand against. We will stand against any misjustice. We'll stand against any abuse. And they thought if they killed him that would be the end of Sikhi. Was it the end of Sikhi? Nay. They thought if they killed Guru Gobind Singh Ji that would be the end of Sikhi. Was that the end of Sikhi? Was that the end of Khalsa? Nay, it wasn't. We live today. They thought they could destroy us, that it would be finished, that no one would become Sikh anymore, that there'd be no Khalsa. They tried to desecrate Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, take it away. They could not do it. And will never do it. Because Sikhi is a teaching not just for yesterday, 500 years, 300 years ago, not just a teaching that is today, 2023 now, but Guru's teachings are teachings for thousands of years now to follow. The next generation, your generations, your children's generations, generations to follow, shall live and practice at the feet of the Guru. And you'll see in this Kali Yuga, as times get heavy, because we haven't seen the worst yet, that many from outside will want to come to this Gurdwara. Many people from outside, English people, other people will want to come. They'll say this is the only place we can come where we can sit and feel that there's peace. And they'll come to our Gurdwaras. I'm telling you, be prepared. There's going to come a time so many will want to come just to say, I don't know what goes on here, but I know that it's peaceful. May I sit here with you. Not that they should become Sikh, not that we're telling they should be Sikh, just to be in the presence of the Guru. That's how Sikhi will grow in the ages. My belief And it shall happen. Because what is Guru? Guru's beyond just a wall, beyond a territory. Khalsa has no geography. Khalsa is everywhere. But we have to be prepared as Sangha to accept it. If we don't change, if we just fall back to the old pattern, old ways of living, old ways of being, we won't survive it. These young people do not want war. They want peace. These young people do not want politics. They want an understanding and a clarity of life. These young people do not want conflict. They want to find out reasons why. Because the Western mind, many of them born here in this West, the mind frame is why? Don't our children ask us why? I say, take that why and turn it to wah. Go wah. As much as you go why, go wah. Same, just change one word, one letter, two letters. Do you understand that difference? Wah. What is wah? Vaheguru. Wah is the wonder of everything. Everything is wah. Looking at each other, seeing your faces, looking into your eyes, seeing who you are, to me is wah. That's the wah. That's the beauty that I see. Because that day I read Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, see the jyot in every person. Every person you look at, see the jyot. Don't see what is dark, see what is light. See the wah, that wah, that lives in each person. And what is Guru? Guru is what? Guru. That which takes us from darkness and brings us to that light. If we go into a room and that room is very dark, what do we do so we can see? We take that switch, flip it, and light comes on. Oh, now I can see where I'm going. But Guru is the same. Vaheguru switches the light in us, that jyot, in us through Vaheguru, so we can see, not be dark, not be blinded, but we can see what is that tomorrow going to bring. Vaheguru, Guru Mantra. Mantra of ecstasy, mantra of life, mantra of love is Vaheguru. And as we, deep within us, feel the essence of Vaheguru within each of our heart, our Atma, every part of us, then life becomes Vah. Life becomes a beauty. We don't see just darkness. But Satsangachi, the major part of that understanding, as we've been talking today, by Guruji's grace, is to have trust and belief in that is so, that shall be true. And I faced the same. I'm not saying that I didn't have, I'm worse than you guys. I had to face it. I had to learn that. That I had to learn how to trust that Guruji would carry me when I couldn't carry myself, would help me when I couldn't help myself. Because we have that two-side duality, Duja. We have that two-side where we're questioning. Ten years ago, when I was 60 years old, Guruji said, now you have to give everything up. You can't run your businesses, you can't. This is the voice I heard. Don't run the businesses, don't do anything, just continue to serve the Sangat. Give up every business, give up everything, just... I was serving Sangat, but we were running our businesses, we were doing all that. Guru said, now you can't even do that. You have to just serve Sangat. So my mind goes, well, who's going to pay the mortgage? Who's going to pay the bills? Who's going to make the... But Guruji, that voice came and said, don't worry, everything you need is taken care of. Yeah, but what am I going to, if I do that? When, I started getting, I liked the monies, I liked everything. Guru said, that's okay, but give it up. So I sat, Vaheguru Simran, Vaheguru, Vaheguru Satanam, Satanam, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. I wanted to just get clear in my mind. So then I understood the test. The Guruji was giving me that test. Is my trust so strong that I could trust? So my mind had to say very simple, Guruji, if you give me everything, I'm going to have nothing. And if you give me nothing, I'm going to have everything. I said, well, Guruji, who's going to look after? Who's going to take care? And Guruji says, don't worry. Sangit is going to take care of everything for you. You don't have to worry. What are you worrying? My eyes are here. And I said, okay. I said, Guruji, if you want me, I should just sit on that corner street, then I'll sit that corner street. You want me to sit here with Sangit, I'll sit. It's not up to me. Guruji, I just heard in my voice, just serve Sangit, help others, mentor the kids, give people business help from your experience. Share with them your devotion. Speak with them, talk honest, open, truth. Your experience. I said, okay, Ji. And in this 10-year period, I saw how Guruji opened every door even bigger and gave even more than I could have ever imagined to have in my life. So Satsanga Ji, it's a great honor and a great privilege that we have this chance to be together, to share at the feet of our Guru. My message today, mostly in English today, is to be strong, to not have any fear, to be devoted at the feet of the Guru, to trust when Guruji says, I'll take care of everything you need, that everything you need shall be taken care of. That's the trust. In my years of being with Sangit over so many years, we've traveled the world, visited so many Gurdwaras everywhere, been with so much Sangit over the years. And I would sit in the Gurdwaras and I would look around at Sangit and I would say, why should one Sangit be depressed? Why should one Sangit feel that they don't have enough? Why should one Sangit be addicted to alcohol, be addicted to drugs? Why should one Sangit not be happy? Because Guruji has given us and gives to us everything we need to get out of depression, to get out of unhappiness, to be prosperous, successful in life. Because there's nowhere in Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj says you should only eat rice, jal and pani, right? Guru says eat the best, have the best, educate our children, live in good homes, drive good cars. We want to be successful. We are successful people. But Guruji says, remember one thing, that when you leave, nothing's going with you. I can't take my cars, I can't take my gold, I can't take my cloth, I can't take my whole house, I can't take my spouse, I can't take my kids. I can only go from God and to God. So don't have it. We should live the best life, strong life, and successful life, yes, 100%. But don't remember, it does not belong to you. It's not going to go with you when you leave. Don't get attached to it. Share it with others. Guru teaches when you share what you have to others, you shall always be successful. Because the law of the universe says that those who give shall always receive. That we have to trust. Satsanga Ji, it's a great honor, great privilege to be with Sangha today. Mafkani Ji, if I've said anything that's wrong today. But I'm just sharing today. I just wanted to share with you a simple way that I learned to live at the feet of the Guru, to be with Sangha, to keep love in my heart, and to serve Sangha to my last breath. So Satsanga Ji, you can reach us on social media, and Harinam Singh Khalsa on Instagram, Facebook. I have to do a little bit of advert. And please help us. Our donations are very appreciated because we travel the world. We do everything just on Sangat support. So your generosity also helps us. So Sangat Ji, may your Gurdwara continue to prosper and grow, reach out, teach out, spread Guru's message, but most importantly, trust at the feet of the Guru, live at the feet of the Guru. And by Guru's Kirpa, all success shall be yours. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.